All right, a very, very warm welcome to all of you in this Reiki Level 2 and Level 3A program. I hope my voice is audible. If my voice is audible, please give me a nod. There are a couple of things which I need to tell you before we start, and that is about the method of teaching which we'll follow today. Number one is I'll be muting all of you, but whenever you want to unmute yourself, you'll be free to unmute. Second, please keep your videos on. Those who want to remain, please keep your videos on and maintain a formal presence. While I'm speaking something, please don't have a lot of movement. Next, I will have breaks in between. There are sections wherein I'll automatically have a break. And once we are having a break, then you can ask questions related to that particular section which we have just learned. And if by chance you are not able to put your query right now, no need to worry, because we'll have one more live question and answer session wherein I'll answer all your queries. So finally, these are the small little things which I needed to tell you. And finally, we'll move and start on with level 2 of the Reiki Healing Course. I will be sharing with you a slide, and I'll just ask you whether the slide is visible or not. In case it is visible, please give me a nod. So first thing is my voice audible? Is it okay? Thank you. Now let me share the screen. All right, now, is the screen visible? Give me a nod if it is. Wonderful. So in Reiki Level 2, the first thing which I'll be talking to you about is the process of attunement. After we have learned about what attunement is, why it is important for us to get attuned, and how are we going to get attuned tomorrow, then we'll move on to the 3 basic pillars on which the healing of Reiki, this art, is based. After that, we'll move on to certain sacred Reiki symbols, which, okay, there are still people who are trying to enter. I have admitted them. All right. The next thing is, after level 3A is done today, then what are the next steps which we'll follow? These are some of the sections in which I'll be speaking to you. So once I stop speaking on one particular subject like attunement, I'll have a break. We'll do a question answer session, quick question answer session. Then again, I'll talk to you about 3 essential pillars. Then again, a question answer session. Then the sacred symbols of Reiki and how to use them and how to heal yourself, your surroundings, your home, your pets, pregnant women, people who are dying, etc. And then finally, the road ahead. So let us move on to the first topic, which is very important, and that is attunement. In my earlier videos, I did talk to you about what is the importance of attunement. I told you that we are just like radios, and around us a lot of energy is flowing. Now the question is that although the radio is there and although the energy is also there, still the radio will not catch all the energies by itself. It needs to be attuned to a particular energy so that it is in synchronization with that energy so that it can receive that particular energy. Similarly, if we have to receive the Reiki energy, then we have to be attuned to receiving the Reiki energy. Who can give you an attunement? A person who has been attuned can also attune other people further. So since I have been attuned long time ago, so I can attune you, and once you are attuned, then you have the power to attune others as well. The other thing is that many of the people, when the course started, they were a little skeptic as to whether a distance attunement would work or not. Now, just as in a distance healing would work, and we will learn that today, on similar principles, distance attunement also works. And what are those principles? For example, in one of the books the famous life coach Deepak Chopra, he talked about how the particles in the universe, they communicate with each other. So in the book, he mentioned that even though, the particles are separated by a lot of distances, so there is a time distance, there is a space distance, still, if an electron would jump into a new orbit on outside of an atom, the anti-electron, which is supposed to be paired with that electron, it also has to register that particular activity, and in synchronization of that activity, it also has to do some activity. And this is automatic. So each particle in our universe, according to him, has intelligence that communicates across time and space. But that was a little technical. Now, to explain this further, give me a sec, because some people are trying to join in. I'll just admit them. Now, to understand this further, we need to understand the concept of morphic resonance. Now, what is morphic resonance? Morphic resonance talks about the kind of a communication. Now, if you are trying to unmute yourself, background noises are not there. I'll again mute you. All right. So now there will not be any disturbance. So what is morphic resonance? So there were some people in Australia who used to study monkeys who were there in Australia. And they were also people in Japan who used to study the behavior patterns of monkeys in Japan. Suddenly, what the scientists noted was that one monkey, he began to dip his potatoes into salt water before eating it, because it probably gave him a different taste. After a while, all the other monkeys who were there, they also started to copy the behavior. And suddenly all the monkeys who were at that particular coast were dipping their potatoes in the salt water before having them. They thought probably this is something of a copying behavior which the monkeys are supposed to do or known to do. But then something happened. What happened was that the monkeys in other part of the world, not in Japan, not on that particular coast, they also started to copy the behavior of dipping the sweet potatoes into the salt water. Now, herein, it astonished the social scientists. Then they realized that there has to be certain communication through an unknown intelligence which is working across, time and space. And they termed this phenomena as morphic resonance. Similarly, a group of scientists in Australia, they were studying the behavior of giraffes. What they saw was that the giraffes, at a particular point in time, started causing serious damage to the trees by eating more of the tree than what they used to generally. However, what amazed them was that after 6 to 7 months of time, the trees responded by increasing the amount of a substance called tannin in their leaves, which ultimately made the leaves bitter. And it made the leaves so bitter that the giraffes did not like eating more of those leaves. So what in fact the trees did were they communicated with the gases. Again, this was an example of morphic resonance. If this kind of a communication is prevalent in the universe, then this can be used for transference of energy from one part of the world to the other part of the world. And once we do Reiki, once we go a little further, we dive into the level 2, we dive into the symbols. The Reiki masters have given us even the symbols of doing a healing at a distance. When you do healing at a distance, you sure are communicating at a distance, whether it is a distance of time or it is a distance of space. So the attunement process on the same principle can be done at a distance. Now the point is, when will we be doing this attunement and how will I be doing that? So what I have requested some of the participants who were present yesterday, and I'll be requesting even those who are not present in the meeting today after the meeting is over, that you submit a photograph along with your name. I will print it out, and tomorrow night, that means the 29th of June 2020, at 22 hours Indian Standard Time, I will give attunement to all those people who have submitted their photographs along with their names. It is not mandatory for you to get attuned. However, the Reiki class or the Reiki learning does involve attunement as an essential process. I would be doing all that is necessary to provide you with the attunement. You don't have to do any other activity. You don't have to come online. You don't have to do prayers or invocations. However, if for 30 minutes, that is from 22 hours Indian Standard Time to 22 hours 30 minutes Indian Standard Time, if you can place yourself in a quiet room in a meditative state, not involving in any other activity, it would be beneficial. It is not mandatory. However, this would be beneficial. So those of you who would submit their photographs within the next 12 to 14 hours, I will take a printout of that, make a record, and then at the set time, I will provide you with distance attunement. Now, if somebody has a question related to only attunement and has a doubt on how we are going to do it, then I'll take a few questions. You can ask me right now.
Okay, so with the attunement.
Give me a sec. If you have to ask a question, please identify yourself and where you're from, and then please ask the question.
Okay, it's Prabal. Can I ask a question for attunement?
Yes. Yes. Please go ahead. Ms. Panna Vithalani ji, please go ahead and ask your question, ma'am.
Okay, just regarding the attunement, when you say you do it with the photographs, so now would you be storing those photographs at a later date, or do you discard of them, or what happens to our photos, or how do you just do that? How does that work?
After the attunement process is over, we are going to delete the photographs, and the paper to take the printout of the photographs will also be discarded.
So what would we feel when we get the attunement? Will we feel anything different?
Some people do
and
they report it while others don't.
Okay. So we just have to be receptive of the Reiki at that time.
Yes, exactly, ma'am. You're right.
Okay.
Any other question?
Okay.
Sir, I have a question. I am Nirmal Patel from Mumbai.
Sir, please go ahead.
Sir, 20 years before I had undertaken this Reiki course and had got the attunement from one of the teacher like you. So can I go for the second time attunement with you?
Yeah, sure. Why not? We have answered this in the frequently asked question section. Why attunement can be or should be taken the second time. I have given the example with the help of a harmonium. You can please refer to the FAQ section, sir. Anybody else?
Yes,
Thank you.
Jai Guruji. Is Purnima Jani here? I just wanted to find out, does this mean that if we don't have attunement done, we can't do Reiki on ourselves or anyone else?
Okay. So the thing is that you can do Reiki, but this forms an essential part of the course. Whenever a Reiki healing course is done, you are attuned to the Reiki energy. Now, attunement is something which is supposed to be essential. However, if you want to opt out of it, it is your sweet will, you can do so.
What I mean is, at the moment we are doing Reiki on ourselves, as you told us to start doing it for 40 days. So does this mean energy is not coming in our hands because we are not attuned yet?
The attunement is always an essential part of Reiki, whether you are doing level 1 regimen or level 2 regimen or level 3 regimen. Regimen means a set of exercises. So I have given you 24 basic positions wherein you are supposed to do an exercise. That means every day you are supposed to follow a particular sequence of positions. However, attunement is still mandatory normally in any kind of a course, even for level 1. What I am doing basically is I am giving you attunement for level 1, level 2 and level 3 together.
I would like to ask a question, Guruji. This
Please
is
identify.
Megha Naik from UK, yes. You give the morphic, you said it works on a morphic level. The 3 examples you have given, the electron jumping into the orbit and that energy we get. As far as I know, when the electron jumps into the next orbit, it gives out the color. It doesn't give out the energy. And the other monkey example and giraffe example, they are the evolution progress in the animal kingdom or human kingdom. It has been known. So how do you, can you just explain more about it? Because it doesn't sound convincing to me. So if you can explain, please.
Sure, why not? So color for you, the first thing which you said was that when the electron jumps out of the orbit, it emits color, it does not emit energy. So what you assume here is color is not energy. But in the field of energy healing, we treat color as energy. I solve so many cases every day just by using color. Just merely by using 3 colors, I solve most of my patients. So is color...
So which colors are there?
Normal colors.
Which color?
This is a black color. I can solve you through color. I know a therapy in which we only use colors to solve people's diseases. So if I have to, for example, cause certain moderation in your, say, one of your chakras, the Mooladhara chakra or the Swadhisthana chakra, or I have to cause some moderations in your meridians, which are the energy pathways, then I may use magnets, I may use light, I may use color. These are the various forms of energies. Energy from one perspective might be color, energy from another perspective might just be a sine wave, energy from still another perspective might be the amount of heat it emits. So for you to assume that color would not be energy is something which I don't agree with, although we can, disagree with a lot of things. But this is the best I thought probably would be in order to explain the morphic resonance concept. Further, when an electron moves out of its orbit, it is not that the positron has to do the same activity. All I am saying is it registers the activity done by the electron. So there is some kind of a communication. The communication is not necessarily the same thing which the electron has done. The positron is not going to copy that. This is one. And that is my answer. You may agree or you may not agree, but that was to the best of my ability that I could answer you. So if I am short of your, if I am short of explaining you, then I'll try some other time to give more time to this particular concept. Okay. Now the second thing which you said, the second thing which you mentioned was that you said that I have taken the examples of animal kingdom and the plant kingdom to explain the concept of morphic resonance. So I want to first tell you that whether it is the animal kingdom or it is the plant kingdom or it is the human kingdom, Reiki energy can be given to plants, Reiki energy can be given to animals, and Reiki energy can be given to human beings. For us, as energy healers. Either we are doing a color therapy, or we are doing a magnet therapy, or we are doing a crystal therapy, or we are doing Reiki healing, or we do pranic healing, or any other energy healing like sound healing. For us, trees are as conscious as animals, and animals are as conscious as humans. And moreover, morphic resonance, ma'am, till now has not got the approval of the scientific community. It is just observations which I have told you, and I have told you that the observations have been named as morphic resonance. So people are researching on it. Many PhDs are being done. The researches are in the process. And probably when they come out, then the validity of what we do in Reiki would be known to the doctors also. All right.
Okay. So just a further small question is that you mean to say it hasn't been done quantitatively, that how much energy is given and all that. So the scientific research is still going on.
Ma'am, the scientific validity, it has its own boundaries. When the scientific community accepts certain papers, they have their own criterias. So sometimes when they find that the findings lack in a particular aspect, then they communicate it to the researcher, and the other researchers who are carrying on the research on that particular subject make sure that they do not have that particular shortcoming. All I'm trying to say is that people are researching on this important aspect. Observations have been made. However, the researches are being carried on, and that this concept is known as morphic resonance.
So, yeah, just explain what morphic means.
Hello, sir.
Ma'am, please, now you'll have to look to the
I
dictionary.
have a question. How do we know that we are attuned?
What is morphing? If you try and listen to Michael Jackson's song Black and White, you will understand what morphing is. Morphing is a very old concept, very, very old concept. Please watch Black and White by Michael Jackson. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay.
Any other question, or we can move on? There was somebody who was asking a question. Let's take one last question and we'll then move on.
Sir.
Guruji?
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question to ask you.
Please.
My name is Swati Shah and I'm from UK. I did Reiki Level 1, Level 2 and Level 3A in 2001. Can you just tell me the difference between online attunements and seeing a master physically? How does it work? What's the difference between online attunements and a physical touch?
So, this is exactly what I have been trying to explain for the past 15-20 minutes. Probably I have not been able to communicate, so I'll answer your question. The point is that attunements were given in person. So you are sitting with me and I am giving you an attunement. This was the initial way of giving attunements. Slowly and gradually, when people graduated to the third level, initially to the third level, not to the second level, then they were taught how to do a distance healing. Once they learned that you are sitting here and you are a Reiki person, you are a Reiki healer, and the other guy is sitting somewhere else, still you are able to heal that particular person, then the attunement also started to be given at a distance, because the principle behind it, that remains the same. So nowadays, there were distance attunements. It is not that it started right now, it started about 10 years ago. But the validity comes from the fact that if you are in the UK, I am in New Delhi, if I am able to provide a distance healing for you, can't I provide a distance attunement to you? And then the Reiki masters, they started giving distance attunements, and it worked. And if it worked for them, I am just doing what was done to me. So I will give you a Reiki attunement online at a distance. Online basically means at a distance. I'll not do it online. I will be offline at that particular point in time. But there will be distance between me and you. So the question is, is there any communication possible when we are sitting at a distance? Am I and you connected? Is there any kind of intelligence between me and you? And not only between me and you, between you and the very model of you that existed when you were 3 years old. Because, as I'll explain you a little later, you can also solve diseases which emanated when you were 3 years old. We have to regress the mind even in the psychological world. Even in America, the Dianetics people, they also do it by regressing the mind to childhood and certain diseases. I'll give you detailed explanation in a little while from now when we do the distance healing symbol. So I gave you the concept of morphic resonance, which gives us an indication that yes, there might be some communication between people or animals or trees who are even at a distance. That is what I tried to do. So we'll do this tomorrow. And if you still have questions, please note down your questions. I'll make sure that I answer each of your questions, but in a question and answer session. Is it okay? Can I move ahead?
Yes.
Sir, can I ask one question?
All right. So we will mute the mics. I will again share my screen with you.